What's your timeline on it? What do you think? Because I know most times these things take years.
Yeah, again, as we're doing this thing, so many things are coming up. There's an opportunity maybe to do a Scruples movie beforehand, which came up, and I might use a Scruples movie because it's a feature film as a guinea pig. I'll learn how to do the pre-rights, sell the pre-rights, and do blah 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 investors, and so we'll see which one comes off first.
That would be very interesting.
2010, 2011, I want to start shooting.
That's just right around the corner.
Yeah,
But at least if you did Scruples first, I mean, you know the animation and you know your characters, then that's not a bad idea.
You're not
to think
dealing
about doing
with
something.
actors and these actors, and everything is more controlled. But
I want to ask you about the social club. You have like a social network club.
well, we have
with
a
Diamond Rough.
Yeah, we have a website where people come in, they learn about the project, and we have members. We started in July 15th, I think, last year, and since then we have 300 members. They come online, they join for free, and they learn about the project, the process, and get T-shirts, get alerts. And we have 300 members. We have members in Australia. We have members all over the world.
So they're interested in how you're developing the movie.
In the process,
right?
yep.
And the whole process.
And we got them through using the social networks, Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, Twitter. It's a new world. It's a great time for independence with all this technology. Years ago, we couldn't have done what we do.
Yeah, very true.
Yep.
I wonder about the fact that you so mastered the comic strip, the Scruples, and you did such a beautiful job in it's Christmas Dr. Joe, the animation special. What did you learn from them? What about writing that you then, what tools did you then use in writing the novel? Because that's a whole
different genre,
right.
And people, it is totally different.
Yeah.
People that writing is writing now, but there's certain mechanical things that you have to do when developing a novel. It's more difficult than one might think, but the true work is in the rewrite.
Oh, you got that right.
But you still learn how to tell a story, so it's different, but it's still yet similar. But getting a project done, it helped me get this project done, because a novel's a monster in itself. It's easier for me to write a screenplay than it is to write a novel.
Well, I wondered about that because you were very comfortable with the dialogue, because that's something that I remember when we talked about, I think one of the first shows you were on, and we talked about the comic strip and about how important, I mean, the dialogue's critical. You have very little space and each word has to count, has to say something. So that's a very comfortable area for you.
Right, and what's interesting about this is some street talk in it too, so so I'm thinking the reader, will they understand it? And I just said, you know what, let me just put it out there, make it real. If somebody doesn't understand it, they'll figure it out.
I've always been curious when you see movies being made in a big city. Are you filming like outside on the streets?
Everything in Hartford.
Do people come around and go, what's going on? There's cameras out here.
Well, we did a commercial for the city of Hartford. It was an anti-littering. We had the big cranes, and I directed it. And just with that small thing, people just come out in groves just to see the spectacle.
Yeah.
Especially in this area, because it's really not done.
Yeah.
But there's a certain fascination about cameras and cranes.
Absolutely.
And it's good adrenaline for me too, because this is all new to me.
Yeah.
People just say, "Oh, Joe, you got it going on. You did it." No, I'm just an ordinary guy who put myself in great situations.
If and I know that there are people in the audience who are writers interested in writing short stories and novels. That I know for sure.
Definitely.
I would guess that there are probably also people interested in writing screenplays. Do you have any advice that you might give to those people who, let's say that there's a young person sitting out there who has had some dream of expressing himself or herself through some form of writing?
So what advice would
what
I
would you
give?
say?
Which camera? I'm looking at this camera. The person's looking in this middle camera?
Well, let's take this one right
this
over
camera
here to
with
Dick. Yeah, with the lights on.
Basically, if you're out there, just write. It doesn't have to make sense, just as long as it makes sense to you. And you can find a way to make it mechanically work. The greatest book that I still refer to as a reference once I put my notes down is a book by Vicki King. It's How to Write a Screenplay in 21 Days. And it tells you from beginning to end how to write a screenplay, and also seek out folks who have done it before. Give me a call. Call somebody up who's very well known, someone, a professor at a college, but just do it. And it's all possible. You never know if you'll have the next great script, but it's from the heart. You have a chance of succeeding with it. And, that's the advice that I give. I don't know, Zita, if that makes any sense. But
yeah, it does. I think oftentimes people have the mistaken thought that, well, I can't write till I get a fancy computer. I can't write till I get an office. I can't write till, there's always some artificial piece that's in the way. And
that's fear.
yeah, sure it is. Joe, one of the things that we do sometimes on the show, see this pretty little crystal basket?
Mm-hmm.
It's full of all just miscellaneous questions, little surprise questions.
Mm.
Would you pull one out there for me?
This is why I love this show.
Yeah, a little surprise.
I love this surprise question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what have you got there?
Okay. Where do you get your ideas?
Okay, see, very simple questions here.
That's a good question.
So, yeah, tell us about that.
Ideas come from everywhere. From your life experience. For me, my life experiences. I might be speaking to someone. I might get some ideas from this conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like one of the most incredible feelings when you get an idea and you know it works and you know it.
Are you inspired sometimes by lyrics from songs or by pictures or
Yes.
poetry or something
Everything.
like that? I find
Everything.
poetry does it for me, and that always surprised me. I don't know much about poetry, but I'm learning a little,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is another thing. You have to keep learning, trying different things.
That's right. You said something earlier. When we're in the waiting room about you don't want to miss out on.
Okay, I don't want to miss anything. That's why I get involved in so many things.
Right.
I just that fear that I'll miss something.
That's a great philosophy.
Well, it keeps life rich, but also keeps it awfully busy.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, Joe, we're just about out of time. So I'm going to close by telling the viewers that I am absolutely certain that another year from now or so, you're going to be back on the show, and we'll be talking about the movie. Maybe we can, see a little trailer or a clip or something like that we can share with people. But in the meantime, thanks very much for coming back again, talking about Scruples and talking about Diamond Rough and all that's going on with you and so much about what you do for the youth of Hartford and the greater Hartford area. Really commendable. And also, let me say a thanks to the crew and to you in the viewing audience. Please remember the words of Ursula Le Guin. There have been civilizations that did not use the wheel, but there have been no civilizations that did not tell stories. Find your story, find a way to tell it. And join us again next time. Thank you.